Yo, what's good guys, it's TKF here and I have another battle for you. This one was a special battle. It was my OU team versus Nick's Uber's team. Yeah, I think that's right, OU team versus Uber's team. So as you guys want to know, Nick is a very good friend of mine. This battle was just purely for the lols because I really wanted to test my OU team against an Uber's team just for the fun of it, because I mean I'm finding that fun so much. I have no idea why. Anyway, he leads out with the Rayquazas, I lead out with my obviously the Baus. And it's obvious I just want to get my Stealth Rocks up, and I was thinking he can't have too much to hurt me, but I kind of want to leave in T-Tart to scout, because whatever he has to hurt me, most likely is also going to hurt my Excadrill, which is very important, and he reveals that he has the 4x super effective Brick Break. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to get to lay out my rocks, and T-Tar is going to get raped. So, I'm going to go into MVZ now. I know I'm going to scare him up with the Draco, but I don't think he has anything on his team to take it. So, I'm just going to fire off that Specs Draco, and unfortunately for me, he actually carries the Steel-type Arceus. Now, I saw Arceus on the team preview, didn't know it'd be Steel-type, great idea on his part. So, needless to say, I'm at -2. I don't know what this Arceus wants to do. I don't want to stay in and find out, so I'm going to go ahead and switch out now and go out into my Subpar Wall, which will be my Ferrothorn. But he actually predicts a switch, not necessarily into Ferrothorn as he said, but he just wanted to get damage on anything that comes in, and he knew that most likely it wasn't going to be Pokemon with Levitate or Flying type. So he does hit my, I was going to say Excadrill, he does hit my Ferrothorn, not a problem. I'm going to predict the switch here and give the Leech Seed. Now here, I don't have too much experience with Deoxys, and all along I was thinking this was Speed. Still not sure if it is, it might be Attack Form, but I was kind of thinking it'd be Speed, and if it was, I knew I could live any hit it wants to go for, and I just protect here to scout what he wants to do, and he goes for the Drain Punch. Now, under the assumption this is Speed, I know I can take it, but he thinks this is Attack Form Banded, and he said this after I made my move, so I'm going to stay in here thinking I can live a hit and go for the Gyro Ball. And this is where my item comes into play. He goes for the Drain Punch. I actually managed to live it, which is incredible. He does get all of his HP back, but as you'll see, he takes the Iron Barbs damage, and he actually takes the Rocky Helmet damage as well. Now this might actually be key, because I believe if this is Attack Form, the Gyro Ball might not have taken him out due to, Deoxys Speed having a lot more speed, needless to say. So, that might have mattered, might not have mattered, but anyway, I managed to take that thing down early on, which is great. So in comes Rayquaza again. Now, just on the assumption he wants to Dragon Dance or something like that, I'm going to stay in and try and Leech Seed, because I know I'm going to need some residual damage on this thing if it wants to stay in and sweep my team, which it looks like he does want to try and do. So I'm going to set the Leech Seed, effectively cripple this thing, because I can stall it out later on if I need to. And right here, I should have protected just to get more HP back and possibly live a +1 Outrage, but I couldn't take the risk. He was going to go for a second Dragon Dance, so I wanted to go for the Gyro Ball just in case to see if I could take it out. But he just decides to go for Outrage, takes me out. Great for me though, I get the Iron Barbs and the Rocky Helmet damage, and whatever I want to bring in next turn on the assumption it can survive a hit, can get Leech Seed. Now I'll bring an Excadrill, and I'm thinking Sands up, I'll be able to take, give it a strong hit or whatever. But unfortunately for me, I forget it carries Airlock ability, which means the Sand is not up, and he goes for the Outrage, and because of my amazing EV spread, which is completely custom, I actually managed to take an Outrage and set up a substitute, which is just amazing. I did not plan that at all, and I went for the sub thinking I'd be faster, so that actually turned out amazing for me. But he's going to go for the Outrage here, needless to say, going to break my sub. You can see how much damage the Outrage did initially. But I'm just going to give the Rock Slide here, hoping to God I can take it out. It's not going to be Stab, I believe I'm part Ground, part Steel. Going to go for the Rock Slide, hoping to God I can take it out, 405 attack, but I don't take it out. But Leech Seed is up, so that's great. I'm going to be able to get the Leech Seed back and kill this thing off this turn with the Rock Slide effectively, so that's great. I mean, Excadrill's out here, but there's nothing really that I can threaten him with, because I'm not behind a sub. I don't have a Sword Stance up. Despite me being faster and everything, he's got something to take the hit. So he brings in this Blaziken. I was thinking he might want to go for the Protect to get a speed boost up, but he doesn't. He goes straight for the High Jump Kick. You know, that's why I went for the sub. Unfortunately, it goes for High Jump Kick, breaks my sub. That kind of sucks. Now I'm at 33 HP. I'm going to be immune to the Sandstorm, but that's not really the point. But I get my lefties. I know I'm going to be able to outspeed after a speed boost anyway, just because, you know, the Sand's up, and I believe I'm max speed Animate Nature. So I'm going to be able to outspeed him, finish him off to a super effective Earthquake, which is nice. But whatever else he wants to bring in is pretty much going to wall me. He still has the Steel-type Arceus, he still has the Lugia, and he did tell me the Lugia is multi-scale, and he said, oh, this thing's going to wreck my team, and I was like, dude, come on, really? This thing is going to laugh at a Rock Slide, and I go for it, and look at that. it does laugh at the Rock Slide, and he just decides to finish me off to an Air Blast, believing me to be a big threat to his team, which I'm really not at this point, because there's nothing I can do to it just being at 405 attack. It's not enough to take on Ubers. So he's going to kill me off there with the Air Blast. Thank God the multi-scale is broken. Now I know I can bring something in to do some damage. And I actually decided to bring in Mick Trolson. So right here, I go for the Scald. I want to scout. And take note of this future sight. This is a key play. So I go for the Scald here. I want to see how defensive this thing is and on what side it's defensive. It does nothing, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, I need to toxic this thing right now. I just wanted to go for the Scald to see, like I said, how defensive this thing was, and it's proving to be far too defensive for Vaporeon to stall out with Wish and Protect and whatnot, since he does have Air Blast. So he goes for the Air Blast. I want to see how much this does. It'd be interesting to know for future references for wishing up and whatnot. It doesn't do all that much, so I could effectively Wish Protect and stall this thing out if I wanted to, since Air Blast isn't doing that much damage, and he is taking Sandstorm damage. So I do have lefties, but he's poisoned, so obviously he'll be racking up more damage than I will, and I will effectively be able to stall him out if I so wish to do so, which I don't believe I end up doing. So I do get the Toxilk off, which is nice. I'm going to be taking that residual damage. I'm going to Wish up here, just because I want to pass my Wish off, I believe. But he ends up Dragon Tailing me out. Now this is key play, because he Dragon Tails me out into my Latios, which is great, because Latios actually ends up taking that Future Sight attack. Now Future Sight hits on the special side. Vaporeon is a defensive wall, and as you can see right here, I take that pretty damn well. Not sure how well Vaporeon could have taken that. Don't really want to find out. Kind of glad that Latios ended up taking it in the end, because, you know, obviously I resisted being Psychic type. So I go for the trick here. I overpredict. I think the Steel type Arceus is coming in to wall my Draco. Not the case, and I end up giving this thing bloody choice specs. And he ends up locking himself into Aeroblast, which is just freaking great, because I don't believe that would have killed if it wasn't specs. It doesn't kill anyway. But Sandstorm, oh, 2 HP live, what a beast. Just unfortunate I gave this thing specs. I really did not want that. But I get the Wish from Vaporeon here, which is great. So that's awesome. 2 HP live plus the Wish, and that's just working out great. So toxic damage really racking up here. Now I really want to finish this thing off, so I'm just going to go for the Draco. I believe I finish it off. I do, which is nice. So I'm at -2 right now. Whatever he wants to bring in is probably going to scare me out, because, you know, why would you want to fodder off Latios? It's a very crucial part to my team. Although now I don't have the specs, I'm really not going to be able to hit anything hard enough. And he does send in Mewtwo. Now this thing scared the crap out of me. I really don't have anything to hit it with. I have a Surf to hit it with. I have Draco, Meteor, Roost, and Trick. So I'm going to go into VAP as he subs, and I thought this would be your standard special attack in Mewtwo, but you can see from the sub it's definitely not. It's actually a bulky Calm Minding substitute variant, which scared the hell out of me. Right here, this is good game. I knew that. I basically said good game when we were talking over Skype. I really have nothing to hit this thing with. I kind of find it a bit of a challenge, but I'm going to switch out here and go into my Shambledore. You know, Dumbledore, Chandelier, yeah, you get it. Anyway, right here, I decided to start hitting this thing with Shadow Balls. I know Scarf Shadow Ball is going to be doing the most damage on my team, just because it's stabbed from Chandelier, and it does have that 427 special attack at Modest Nature. I think that's base 145, I'm not too sure. Gonna hit it with a Stab Shadow Ball anyway. Even with the +1 Calm Mind, that is going to be enough to break the substitute, because Shambledore is an absolute boss. I believe I'm timid as well. But he sets up the second Calm Mind. I don't really care. I know I can outspeed it. I really need to get some damage on this thing, and if it means sacrificing Shambledore, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to be taking Sandstorm damage, so is he. Not really too big of an issue. He does have lefties though, which sucks. At least it's going to be cancelled out with the Sandstorm. So I'm going to hit him with another Stab Shadow Ball, and you'll see, considering this is a Mewtwo and it is +1 and I'm timid, that does a hell of a lot of damage. Going to hit me with a Side Strike though, Mewtwo's kind of signature attack. Going to be able to take me out. It hits me on the physical side, not that it matters. Shambledore's defenses are base 90 on both sides. They're going to take me out since I'm not invested anyway. I don't know if I could have taken a hit. If I was max D, maybe. But anyway, going to go into Nubs now. I really need to hit this thing as hard as I can. Unfortunately, he outspeeds me, and that's actually going to take me out. Mewtwo at +1 isn't really anything to laugh at, and you see it does Oko my Latios. Now, I thought I might be able to take 1, just because I do resist it, and Latios isn't exactly, you know, paper thin, but not going to be the case. It takes me out. Latios is a glass cannon in this respect, seeing as Mewtwo is a boss. Gonna send in Vaporeon, kinda hoping I could live 1, being a defense wall and everything. No, gonna take me out. McTrolson does go down, and I believe that right there will be the game. So it was a pretty close game actually. 2-0'd me, I lost 2-0, 2-0 on his part. But I had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm quite proud being able to get down to a 2. I believe I could have done better. We'll see in the future. I really want to have more of these matches. So thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you didn't check out my video on the Global Pokemon League, please do so right now, and I will catch you guys later on for another Wi-Fi battle. Touche.